Alright, y'all. Hello, everybody. Ivan, Irene. We are at level 5 of this, and as you can see, there's nothing to pick up, and it's a little early for an event floor. So you know what that means. That means we are probably playing as Goro in here. Fuck you, past me, for leaving these problems for future me to deal with, but on the other hand, I can actually show off some goodies. So after we get that little drum beat, first of all, I stored a bunch of his stuff, and you can see we're still grinding on this trial hammer. And the BBH got a little bit of experience because it seemed a little bit more efficient. But we have steel on our battle axe. By virtue of having this Bandit's Ring synth sphere in our slot for a little bit here, we're going to replace this with something else later. And in fact, steel is probably going to go to Ruby because she is a much better character as a general rule. But you know what? As long as we're playing with this dude, we may as well give him a little bit of extra stuff. And by the way, I found out that the money drops are dependent on your weapon at the time of landing the killing blow as well. So it's perfectly fine if we pick up those sacks of gold while we have the trial hammer on. We are not going to get our returns halved. That's nice. Glitchless run of Quest 64 sounds like it would be quite long, is all I can say. Yeah, the mimics are kinda assholey, especially in this level. Like, now that they've started replacing the wooden chests with ones that are made of stone, these things are extremely durable. Oh hey, Trance Feather. I don't think I bought any extras of those, so that'll make my life a little bit easier. And their attack patterns are kinda suck too, but honestly, saying that, we are definitely reaching a portion of the game where we're finding a lot more enemies that are just kind of not fun to fight with melee characters. And then you get the ones that are just kind of assholey to everybody. Like, okay, sure, this mage wants to keep backing off. I'm going to switch to Ruby. Oh, it's blocking all of my shots. Well, fun. And then you get to Demon Shaft and you're like, what, you mean they're immune to all elements now and I gotta switch to Shao? Or I gotta have the Planet Buster or whatever Osmond's machine gun is? Oh, sorry, I spoiled the guy's name. We've never even met him, so it's not like that tells you anything. Come on. Also, yeah, there's the shockwave being funky. Oh, surely there has to be some sort of way to set up something like that, because obviously event battle handling exists for the basic code of Quest 64. How hard can it be? Actually saying that, I've seen I've looked at video game code before. It can be a goddamn nightmare. Oh, he got back up. What a jerk. Excuse me. Really, there's no new slots to program anything new in. That is bizarre. Because mentally I'm sitting here, like, technically assuming you move a bunch of stuff around. that shouldn't be a real, like... Because it's not power of 2 minus 1, number of total different types of monsters, right? But, you know, again, that also means you gotta move the data around and tell the game, hey, yeah, well, probably tell the game, hey, there's more than that. Unless it's just like a Pokemon situation where the game goes, oh, yeah, this is over the max number of, well, we have no error checking. Fuck it, this is what it is now. And you get some incredibly silly things as a result sometimes. Also, for anyone who's thinking, hey, you've got the item to leave the floor, you should just do that, you are correct. And yet I still haven't just done it. A hard cap being programmed. Yeah, so effectively, again, like just an error check, basically. Gotcha. So you'd have to circle around that. Well, interesting, though. Oh, what a jerk. He take damage twice? I think he took damage twice. That's pretty neat. I may have found some sort of sweet spot or something that just absolutely annihilates those things, which, I mean, granted, we probably don't need it, but still. Cool. Wow, okay. Yeah, well, here's my question, Tev. Can you hit people with a shockwave attack after it ceases to exist? Because if you can, that's pretty cool. How's it going, by the way? I hope things are going well. I saw that you're doing the new tribal quests in 14. I think I forgot to get my 2 sets yesterday because I'm an idiot. Because I've been seeing people do a thing, well, I won't describe it in any more detail because it's a spoiler, but, well, I mean, very clearly, the outer waves of that shock have undrawn a couple of times, and I've still gotten hit by it. It's a little bit funky. There is some lag in its existence. Lag-existence. I don't know. Earth science, yeah. That's one way to put it. Dirtology. Wait. Every once in a while I say things that are really strange. Anyway, I am, by the way, still kind of reading that thing, the Quest 64 programming thing, and I'm just looking at this like, wait a second. Load in. That, like, I don't think this is what this is, but that sounds like they just programmed in each monster tied to each area, which would be incredibly fucky, but just wow. Yeah, that is kind of bizarre no matter how you slice it. Anywho, what do we want to do in this floor? Because we're probably going to be... One of the things that's going to slow us down considerably today is going to be the sheer quantity of menuing for stuff. And I think we're just going to do Tiger. Yeah, because, I mean, look at this dude's weapon. It is stacked and something else that rhymes with stacked. I don't know. Racked? I hope not. Anyway, so, yeah, because, I mean, I am kind of sitting here like, I know that Imagineer is not exactly, like, or was, I suppose. I'm pretty sure they've been defuncted as of, like, about 20 years ago. Wasn't exactly a big developer or a wildly experienced one. And the only other thing that I know of off the top of my head that they did, and of course I would know that they did this, is a port of Lemmings for the PC-98 era computers. Oh, mostly just license stuff? Gotcha. Nice typo, by the way, game. We apparently got Jabubu's hose. That's hose as in, like, one letter off from house, not, you know. You know what I'm saying. It would get me demonetized if I said it on YouTube, probably, but that's okay. My YouTube isn't monetized through that anyway. I don't have enough subscribers or anything like that. Good job, Tab, you dumb motherfucker. I think he didn't get the joke. Because I'm sitting over here like, okay, can I make this funnier by not just directly saying the word whore, or prostitute, or hooker, or woman of ill repute, or man of ill repute, I suppose the case may be, but let's be real. Okay, wow, sure, thanks, dude. Or my mother, apparently. Oh, I get it. It's like another rude word. I enjoy this this glitch abuse, but I'm sure that it's just stretching out the video. I'm I'm also sitting here like, gee, I hope the game gives me another funny type. Oh, hey, there's an enemy over there. Yeah, that's real helpful. You probably cottoned on to the fact that there's an enemy over there, but this Mr. Blair, this is the fire equivalent of those ice mages that we saw in the sunken ship. And thankfully we can just one-shot this dude because, well, look at that, but I mean, we spent so much time in the sunken ship getting so many just random... Like, I don't know what it is, but I swear every time I have popped open this game to do some of the off-camera grinding, that one room in the sunken ship is just like, hey, you want more gemstones that give you fuckloads of ice? And I'll just be like, you know, they have other things, but okay. Like, we still have this amethyst sitting in our inventory, and that's worth more ice. But, like, the last time it was just aquamarines and turquoise for days. And this time around, it was a fair chunk of amethyst. There were a couple of pearls, too, which are at least thunder, so that's something different. But it seems a little bit wild just how much there is there. But, of course, also because we're spending so much time in that room and we're fighting against monsters that drop the little ice balls. You know, after all the time we spent in the sunken ship, ice element is not a thing that we're concerned about having too little of, that's for sure. So, those things are absolutely comical. That they just tend to keel over and die, and we get to laugh at them. And boy, do we laugh. Unfortunately, it was a little quiet when I did it that time, but regardless, we got mummies alive over here. Oh wow, your ice resistance is pretty strong, dude. On the other hand, it's still a kill, so... Okay, sure. Not impressed, are ya? And there's our leveling up for the Buster Sword, and yeah, I did do a little bit of investigating, by which I mean I found this on a wiki. Because I was double-checking some drop locations for some stuff. I mean, I still remember the basic... Somebody crawled up my ass in my comment sections for my VOD channel, of all things, for using a guide on Metroid for the NES! A game that's barely fucking playable without a guide. With a guide, pardon me, that's what I wanted to say. Wow, okay. Gee, can you tell I was dropped on my head as a child? Because I probably was. And it's like, dude, nobody gives a shit. You know, it's 2022. Are we still doing the you cheated not only the game, but yourself stuff? Oh, right, of course we are. I forgot. This is the internet, and people who have nothing else in their lives need something to lord over other people, don't they? Some things never change. Just like war. Which is a Fallout reference and not intended to be philosophical, but I mean, I suppose it's not untrue either. Anyway, so because of this dork ass, I just want to point out that from here on out, every single game that I'm going to play, even if I have memorized it front to back on a level that, like, I kind of have for the Ratchet and Clank games on the PS2, to be honest with you, I'm going to start using guides. Like, just completely unnecessary. I'm going to go look stuff up. I'm going to go look at the ASCII art from the 2000s. I'm going to get a feel for people's peccadillos of writing and their, you know, their weird phrasing, and people who can't spell voila on, and, you know, it's not on purpose. And we're going to have a good old time. And by that, I mean, I'm not actually going to do that, but also, like, admittedly, that did kind of get under my skin a little bit, because it's like, dude, shut up and move on. Which is what I should be doing right now, but I'm not going to, because this guy's a, you know, a real fucking asshole. Anyway, so whatever, I was looking this stuff up on, there's actually a wiki for this game series, which shocked me. Shouldn't, but it did. Oh, are these dudes? No, they're... It seems to be doing the job. We should probably level this thing up so that way we have slots in it. So I was looking this stuff up to go see, like, where some of these weapons drop, just to be sure, because a lot of things have been pretty dicey about that. I don't know, like, when stuff gets added to the drop pool. Apparently there's some pretty crazy shit that gets added as early as when you get some of the characters. Like, Goro has a really good hammer that he can use as a weapon called the Last Judgment, which has... Well, first of all, it is right next to being able to evolve into one of his last two weapons. And second of all, it starts with like 100 attack and a bunch of every element and just good stats all around. Apparently you can get that as soon as Goro is in your party. And that's kind of disgusting, if you ask me. That is a disgusting act, and it's a shame we had to have that here on our channel, etc., etc. And I'm kind of looking at this like, that doesn't sound right to me, but what the hell do I know? More importantly, obviously, this particular page had info for all of the other games in the franchise, including, and by all, I mean the one other game in the franchise. I don't know why I said all there, but maybe I'm the one who's not all there. And yeah, Dark Cloud 2 apparently is much better translated, and the quote-unquote Buster Sword that we just leveled up there is called a Bastard Sword, as I theorized earlier in another stream. And there's a lot of other stuff that is really severely mistranslated in this game, because I'm assuming that level 5 had like $5 and a ham sandwich for a budget. I know, right? Somebody said bastard. What a shock. Actually saying that kind of reminds me, way back when I was a kid, of course, I played Donkey Kong 64 because, well, for some reason we owned that. It was a very strange decision, I know, but we probably didn't know any better back then. Anywho, yeah, so in the original DK rap, they refer to Chunky as one hell of a guy, and I was a small child at the time, and I'm gonna be honest, I was definitely not the punk I comparatively am nowadays, and even then I'm not, like, you know, that much of a misbehavior, but I was kind of mildly scandalized for a 9-year-old for seeing, again, this thing that was for children, and I was told that hell was a bad word. And then I think about the fact that they changed it to heck for the version in Smash Bros. Melee. You know, Smash Bros. Melee, the Smash Bros. Game that was rated T. The one, as far as I know. Because I guess they decided eventually that that was just too violent to be an E rating. Fucking Smash Brothers. And we're talking about Smash Brothers in a pre-Bayonetta era. Blah, blah, blah. Here's a reference to a voice actor underpay scandal. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. Although scam could work too. And yeah, well, maybe that'll come up later. But the point is that there was something kind of hilarious about that to me. Still is, really. And in fact, I'm pretty sure that, like, the Fire Emblem games are rated teen now, right? I'm pretty sure. And they're still too wimpy to say bastard in most of them, I'm pretty sure. They say dastard instead because they want something that sounds kind of similar, but, you know. Apparently they're concerned about upsetting the parents who don't play video games or whatever. You know, meanwhile, there's everything else to worry about in those games. I still haven't played Three Houses. I need to get around to that at some point. So that way I can look at it and look at all the people getting in arguments on Twitter and being like, wow, This is what you're all up in arms about? For real? Hey, look out for the bee stinger. Well, yeah, I mean, most of it's puns, so... Of course you do. Alright, so let's take a look at Jibubu's hose. Amazing, it's still there again. Do we have one of the giant totem poles? Yes, we've got one of these to place. Ah, yes, one of the many things that make this place kind of suck. See, nobody else in this desert has a hose. They should all be coming to this dude so that way they can get some free water. Or something. I don't know where I'm going with this. Isn't that a sting so... I'm gonna fucking stab you. Anyway, this white boy in the desert, I'm upset with you right now. I can't believe you would do this to me. Yes, I can. Who am I kidding? This is like literally the exact thing that you always do. Why is this any different? The hell am I doing in here? I'm distracted now. Oh. Oh no. Oh hey, we got a bunch of trees, by the way. Can we just shove those into the oasis? Yes, we can. Well, today is gonna be the day that this place has more trees. I guess. I tried too hard on that joke. And the results were not worth it. Just like trying to listen to Oasis. Wait. And... Right. Rook's house is where our shop is. That way we can go see Mr. One Eye here. Which is not a penis joke. Not on purpose, anyway. Let's pick one of these up. Of course you would. Anyway, yeah, we got 15 repair powders. I think we're good there. I want more of these things to throw into stuff. Let's grab a wind, because I think we're a little... we could probably use that on more things. I'm also going to grab an auto repair powder, because we haven't had a good chance to show those off before. And I mean, why not? So you just stick that in there, and it works kind of like how Revival Powder works. And God, I just wish they would put this function on Repair Powder, that if you clobber something with your weapon and it breaks, or I guess if you shoot a shot with your weapon and it breaks too, it just repairs it to full instead of breaking it. But I guess if they price those at 20 gold, it would make you not make effort or something. I don't know. And stop paying attention. Which would be fine. Look at how much fucking grinding we've been doing in this game. Having a distraction would not hurt in a case like that. Oh hey, we get another cutscene. What am I fighting for? Etc. As Moon Man talks to this dude. And all Ungaga's gonna do is deflect constantly. And look over at the Moonman, and I said Moonman, not Moomin. The game has a plot. I suppose. I'll be honest with you. It's pretty goddamn thin. Oh hey, look, it's these douchebags again. I could try equipping a real weapon to deal with this. Actually, you can steal bombs from these dudes. I probably should do that. Or you can if you remember to actually equip a weapon in time. But I did not, so... Yeah, for some reason, somebody at some point decided that every video game needs to have a plot. Even if it's not very good, which, you know, my general advice... I swear that I've written this and or said it recently. Oh yeah, I said it in that Mega Man X video. Is that if you don't know how to write a good plot, then just don't bother. Nobody's really making you. Believe me. Where's the... Yeah. So for some reason, the sweet spot is not at the actual, edge of the thing there. Boy, this level is just fucking great, let me tell you. Let me tell you what, Bobby. Oh, game, you stole some of my... Well, I didn't have much money to begin with, so you know what? I guess we'll put up with it. Sweet spots. Aim for an ice cream stand. You're not wrong. I gotta give you that one. I think. I might just be legally obligated to. I'm so glad we came over here for, like, nothing. Story of my life. Oh, is that another? Wow, this dungeon has just been vomiting backroom keys uncontrollably at me. Wow. That is so unnecessary, my dudes, but okay. Oh, I forgot to switch to get that experience boost. Oops. And by experience boost, I mean to put the experience on the right weapon. The same basic idea, really. Oh. I hear Crab walking towards me. Listen, due to the delay in, due to the sound delay introduced by my little USB AV capture device, that's a normal thing to say. To say that I hear it well after it's walking towards me. Oh look, more jackasses. Anyway. Well, okay, normal only in the circumstances of this particular load of bullshit. Nothing here is normal, let's be honest. Honestly, anybody playing this game 21 years after release, probably that by itself is not normal. But let us not steamroll level 5 too hard in that regard, because, I mean, they tried their best? They certainly tried, at least, on this game, for being a dev that this was literally their first game. You know, give them the tiniest modicum of credit. The tiniest modicum, yes, as if there's... You know, as if one doesn't imply something else, right? For very large values of 0, etc. Or large values of 2, or however that joke goes. Anyway, we got crabs in this dungeon. Let's make sure that we avoid the crab hammer here, because, you know, that's not something we need in our lives. I'm just gonna fight this dude with my regular ring. By regular ring, I mean not regular ring at all, the one that I'm going to be breaking down for stats pretty soon. Yeah, I haven't put anything in here for slots yet. Maybe I should do that. Oh, I have endurance plates I can sell. I also just did that, which was very silly. We're gonna save that backroom key until the next floor, just because we're so far away from it. I don't want to do that. Oh, hey, we got some hay for that one dude's hose to put on top of it for some reason. Yeah, I think I was wrong about being able to steal bombs from these guys, so I'm just attacking them with the garbage ring. That way I don't have to, you know, switch in the middle of, like, the 2 frames that has before they fade out and I lose the drop. And by drop, I mean experience drop, not the item drop. Those don't disappear. Wow, okay, my timing is way ruined there. The trap was an electrode. Steel slingshot. That has some anti-metal, I think, so that is nice-ish. Oh, if I actually had steel bullets from it, that would be nice, but not in this game. Alternately, thanks, Exhibit. Come on. How long does that thing need to stay guarding for? Answer, much longer than that, that's for sure. Let's plug that back in real quick. Yeah, that gives us a nice chunk of anti-metal, so that's cool. Let's go back to having this dude do some hammer business with his axe. I mean, they both kind of drop downward, but I mean, yeah, hammer, axe, one of them's just with a big blade. We have the... Is it all the way over there? It's all the way over there. Okay, that's real cool. I guess we're not going to go in that room unless we actually need to get the King Slate. Because we don't even need to go in there for a green orb. It's literally just for a map and 3 junk enemies. So if we don't need it, the game can eat me. I am kind of surprised by that, honestly, because that seems like one that would be a little bit on the obscure side, I think, for any of those sites to be doing stuff like that, outside of, like, if somebody was making something on their Redbubble, I guess. Interesting. Oh boy, what's in this room? Hey! Cool, we don't have to deal with that other room. And yeah, there you go. Auto repair powder used. A good idea, and then they just made it a little bit too annoying compared to other. Yeah, we don't have the key, so we can just leave. Or alternately, we could go check out that back room, which I said I would do before. Alright. I guess Tone is going to be our frontman for that. Oh, hey, look, it's a mimic floor. Well, that means we're popping chests and we're running. Because I don't want to fight these things. They suck. They're terrible people. Yeah, I seem to recall, I don't know where I heard that, but I know I heard it before. That, yeah, it did get a massive jump in price, at least for a bit. Although I looked at it recently, and I think it was back down to, like, less than 20 or something. But I could be wrong about that. Either way, what did I get mine for? I think I got mine for $10, and that was many years ago. But of course, used game prices just in general have gone through the fucking roof over the last several years, especially during the pandemic. I was looking up recently because it was something that I was considering doing a video about, a related project anyway. Also, wow, this is the worst fucking back room I've ever seen. At least give me one gem for this shit. Nope, just a power-up powder. Well, game, you can eat me. But I was looking recently at the price that Majora's Mask was sitting at. And it was somewhere around, what, $70 or so for a cartridge? Which is just kind of fucking absurd. Then again, Majora's Mask, they haven't really been great about giving good re-releases for Majora's Mask. And saying that, I'm not counting the PS3 version. Good God, listen to me. I'm not counting the 3DS version because that's, well, almost like a different game a little bit. But for those of you who are looking for the N64 experience, you're basically stuck getting an N64 cartridge or getting fucked. Yeah, that's kind of the thing, is that, well, making matters worse is that when it comes to gray cartridge for Majora's Mask, Majora's Mask, mind you, not Ocarina of Time. I don't know what OOT is sitting at. Majora's Mask, the only gray cartridge releases that I know of are, like, kiosk for in-store, if I recall correctly. Or otherwise with a not-for-resale label on them, so released in a special way. Regardless of the point here, yes, hello, Retro Fanatic. We have... There's been a bit of a... There's been a bit of a distraction here, that's all. But yeah, also saying that $70 is something that I would consider reasonable as a price because it's a video game. You know, again, part of it really is just, wow, what in the fuck are some of these prices on things? It's kind of terrible. Kind of really terrible. I think the most expensive game that I own is Rule of Rose, which is worth like $300-something for a copy of just the loose disc, and worth over $600 for a copy complete in box. And now mine doesn't have like any of the subscription card nonsense with it that I think would have been in there, or any safety information type of pamphlets. It's been a while since I've opened a new PS2 game, obviously, to know that all that stuff was in there. But obviously, I have a copy. It has a case, and the insert is actually the actual insert, not a printout. And it has a manual. So I'm going to say that it's probably, you know, it's worth somewhere in between those. We'll put it that way. I bought it for $25 in the late 2000s. So, yeah, if I was going to sell it, then I eventually did turn a pretty big profit there. Well, yeah, Fire Emblem Path of Radiance is damn expensive. I don't know offhand what Baten Kaitos is. Oh, if Path of Radiance is still in plastic, well, that has got to be worth quite a bit. Because, yeah, anything still in the plastic. That's going to be quite a lot, to put it nicely. Alright, so we gotta find the other of the three sisters so that way we can finish that house. It's probably out wandering around the wasteland here. I think part of it was that it was not... I want to say that it wasn't, like, super advertised or anything at the time. I certainly never saw anything for it. I saw, like, one copy ever, but yeah. So that kind of scans. That it would be pretty tough to get hold of nowadays. Price being it, you know, price or no. Oh, hey, look at that little spider statue. It's kind of cute. I like it. Really, only about $22 for a Japanese Gray Majora's Mask cartridge. Interesting. I wonder if they had a special release of it, or a release of it, period, I suppose, that was just in the gray cartridge other than the... Well, then again, I also am thinking, hey, if it was something in a kiosk over here, I would imagine that quite a few were reclaimed back to Nintendo or somebody upstairs. Well, it's not literally a piece of ice. It's a thing that gives you an elemental bonus. But, I mean, yeah, it is kind of strange to pick that up in the middle of a desert. Anyway. So... Oh, hey, parrot. I recognize a green bird like that anywhere. It's Squawks. Oh, Squawks. Oh, Donkey Kong Country series. Oh, Squawks' Shaft. Yeah, exactly. It's disgustingly valuable. Unsurprisingly, because a lot of that stuff... Again, I'm fairly certain that a lot of stuff like that was probably thrown back to the distributors. So, a very small number of them may have gotten to private owners' hands, but a lot of them were probably just returned and probably recycled in some cases. So like, there's a lot of distribution cartridges, for example, for Pokemon stuff that were just sent out to stores for events to operate from a thing in the back room, and so a lot of that stuff can be kind of rare. Yeah, I mean, 15K is like, you absolutely are selling to an extremely specific human being. Even if I was in a really good position money-wise, I would probably not spend that kind of money on something like that. Like, if I was in a position where I could just throw $15,000 around, I would still look at that and be like, you're fucking insane. I am not doing that. Yeah, Clay Fighter Sculptor's Cut is worth quite a bit. That's all I can say. And yeah. I don't remember exactly how much, but well, Bill Gates would ask for more or something, but who's to say? Oh, hey, there's a bunch of plot going on that we're completely ignoring because, this game doesn't really need that much. Anyway, Stickman got stung by a scorpion. You know, I would still suspect that Sculptor's Cut would be worth at least something if you had the card, because you know, Sculptor's Cut is not exactly very common, but I'm sure that for whatever few people are like super into the 3D Clay Fighter, I don't seem to recall that being a super great game. But it is a Clay Fighter game, and those are very entertaining. As far as scorpions being deadly, there's they're definitely a lot more overplayed in that direction in fantasy media because, I mean, it hurts. Scorpions are kind of fucked up, and this is even more awkward looking than it's supposed to. It's even more awkward looking than it's intended to be because she's supposed to be sucking the poison out of him, you know, like they show doing with scorpion venom regularly. But, yeah. Well, yeah, I'm sure it's not really a real thing. But like I said, scorpions are probably not that deadly anyway. Like, if you're 20 pounds, sure, but the average human being, you know, I mean, look at how big a scorpion is. What can it possibly be carrying? Anthrax, oh. Well, now that's kind of, And we got Stickman. Yeah, Toad sounds about right for a scorpion. Certainly they're not gonna... You know, if a scorpion stings you, you're probably fucking around with it quite severely. Just, you know. Anyway, I missed a whole bit of the conversation here because I was just like, scorpions, yeah. No, it's fine. Nobody's at fault here. It's just, wow, it's moving fast enough that I gotta actually scroll up. What a shock. Oh, only like $30 to get a copy of Sculptor's Cut? Well, I may have to put that on the list of things that have to go on, Well, I mean, we clearly should be talking about Ermax, right? So that way we can get him to become an actual character. Wait. No, that already happened like 20 years ago. That already happened like 25 years ago. Oh, Jesus. It just dawned on me that the first Mortal Kombat game is 30 years old this year. I'm sorry, I'm having a moment. This is fucked up, dude. Oh, I thought we were gonna find out that somebody swallowed it from the space Jawas. Space Jawas. Listen, I'm no Star Wars expert, but... Well, the Noob Saibot thing gets even funnier when you remember that Noob Saibot did start as a Scorpion clone, and then he became a Kano clone, and then went back to being Scorpion. So we'll take a look at this dude in a second once I go find... Do I have more stat things to feed him? Wow, I don't have any gourds right now. Well, you see, Noob Saibot is Boone Tobias... well, actually, I got the order wrong there. Pardon me, it's Tobias Boone spelled backwards, which is, of course, the name of the two main guys who were behind the franchise. Ed Boon and John Tobias. John Tobias being the original art director. I think they really were just like, well, we gotta do something with the name of this dude. Ed Boon. Yeah, he's a real person, believe it or not. I don't know why I'm saying believe it or not. You already know that. Like I said, the whole dropped on my head as a child thing coming back today. We got some of these things we can dump off. Anyway, I've been saying that a lot today, haven't I? Let's finally... No, we're gonna move this over to the last slot of this dude's inventory. Don't try to throw it out. Yeah, this isn't exactly the most sensitive thing in 2022, we'll put it that way. Anyone seen Mr. Popo lately? I was gonna go do something else and now I forgot. You guys made me forget. Fuck. I should equip that battle axe properly, so that way if we ever have to have him do the thing again, we're gonna be able to do it without too much issue. Anyway. Back here we go, I think? Yeah, I think we're just going straight back to the temple. And we'll deal with whatever other shit we gotta deal with later. Oh, hey, so I guess we were right in time for the event floor. 9 seems like very early, considering floor 5 is just where we were in a restricted zone. And we've got these two big metal dudes. Bro. Looks like some geek snuck in. Wanna go get him? Oh, Su Hao. Yeah, I forgot, like, everything about Su Hao, because nobody really liked Su Hao. Unsurprisingly. Take it easy, brother. I enjoy the fact that they're just, like, they're just looking at Tone and just being like, this geek. Somebody had fun with this part of the translation. Unfortunately, they didn't get most of the game right. Anyway, we'll take a look at the other dude in a second, but for now, do we gain, like, any decent amount of... We gain 5 from goal, and Syl is going to be worth, like, probably the same amount. Yeah, 5 points of points. Alright, so let's take a look at Mr. Stickman here. He's got a stick. And most people tend to think of Ungaga as being the worst character in the game. For many reasons, not least of which being the plot being not great. And I kind of understand, and usually I like the stick fighters in, like, anything, but, I mean... He's got a good reach on him, but his attack is only a 3-hit combo, and it's kind of slow. He does, however, have a charge attack, and it's this. And it rips through your weapon hit points really fast. You use it for the sole purpose, basically, of removing these black wind barriers. Do not use this as an attack, except for the one boss where you have to dispel a target. Why is this game bad? Well, I've been trying to figure that out for a while too, but unfortunately, I think we're just going to be kind of stuck. Also, oh my god. I had to do some internal, like, mental math here for a second and hash out that, yes, Stick Boy is the only character in the game who doesn't have any purchasable weapons except through fishing points. And ain't nobody likes that because the fishing in this game is jank as fuck. On the other hand, the weapon that you can buy for him with your fishing points is decent because it is guaranteed to have a poison ability. But on the other hand, actually sitting there and doing this game's fishing, like, why? Just, you know, FML. Let's refill her water, because at this point I'm not expecting this game to give me any semblance of any possibility of having a spring anywhere to refill at. And Mr. Shockwave's on sand here. Okay, I mean, that would work, but in fact, it'd probably be quite effective. Come on. Double impact. That's just a stat stick. At least I think it is. I'm pretty sure that doesn't have anything useful. Time to go look. Yeah, stats. Yeah, it really doesn't have anything useful. Is this optional? No. There's only one optional dungeon in the game, and it's at the very end. Because it's post-game. And by that point, you can just be like, well, I did my time. I'm going to bed. And the game won't be able to say nothing because it's a video game. Like, okay, I guess you're going to bed. Later. And there's gonna be a floor where and then it eats your memory card. No, this isn't Soul Calibur 3. Actually, there was some game that had a memory corruption. I mean, I guess. A data corruption issue that could infect other parts of your memory card. I just don't remember what it is offhand. Steel Slingshot has a tiny amount of anti-metal, so you know what? This is what's gonna get our EXP for Xiao for now, because we could just I don't know where I was going with that. I forgot already. I'm sorry. I started to say something, but I realized I don't have anything to say right now. Jerk. Sure. Thanks, game. What are we talking about now? Is this, if we're referring to the Soul Calibur 3 thing, it was definitely a thing on the PS2, but maybe it wasn't on any other release. Possibly if there was like a 1.1 or something, either it was fixed by then. But yeah, I was not aware offhand that there was a PS3 release of the game. So when I said that, I was just like, surely that's going to refer to any version of it. But sometimes the answer is not that. Also, yes, those giant bees do absolutely fucking suck. Yeah, there's certainly a possibility that playing it on PS3 using the PS2, using the PS2 backwards compatibility. I saved it there. I'm not an idiot. I'm kidding. There is a possibility that might have staved off the corruption problems from it being like, oh, well, it's not a memory card or something. That's fine. I just wanted to kill that thing real quick. At this point, we're able to clear the level. We just... the last one's going to be a map chest, so I don't even need to open that. Oh, wow, okay. That's like the inverse of what happens with those golems and their shockwave attack, because that distinctly was not a thing that was visible yet. That sucked. Okay, I don't need to do that. I need to hit the other button. Yeah, of course, unfortunately, I have just not found any more defense up items for this dude. So, like, honestly, even aside from his tiny health pool, which I probably should feed him more items to fix that, but even setting that aside, I mean, he's made of cardboard and prayers. Where's the exit on this floor? Am I having a moron moment? Oh, okay, I see where the exit is. It's right across from the entrance. Duh. Picks up the map anyway. Okay, that's what it was. I didn't remember the full details of it, but yeah, also that is completely buck wild of a thing to happen, but of course, a lot of programming glitches are just like, what? Levels of... of just being very, very strange. Alright. Chief's house. Chief Bonka. What a name. That's a little bit unfortunate. We'll put it that way. Prisoner cabin. Yeah, we don't have We don't have that dude yet. We don't have the guy who owns the golem. Let's rearrange. Do we have anything else we can do here? No, we can just go visit Chibubu and take a look at his fire hose, I guess. This game is, it's pretty alright. It's got moments of being kind of a pain in the ass, but it's not terrible most of the time. Well, listen, all I'm saying is maybe don't clip from this VOD. That'll encourage people. I think he's just shouting into the sky because that's what he does. Oh, is the character director or whatever for Soul Calibur kind of a weirdo? I can't say as I'm surprised, but I mean, yeah, clearly some of them are a little over the top. Let's just leave it at that as the simple way of putting it. That we cannot have too much to argue about. You know, something seems wrong here. Oh, is he about to tell us about the aliens? Oh, Jesus. Oh, boy. Sir, please... Please don't. Yeah, I know, right? This fucking phrenologist. This suddenly happened. And Tone's just like, I'd like to avoid the rest of this conversation. And he goes back to yelling at the sky because, wow. I can start measuring some human skulls. You ain't fucking kidding. God, I have forgotten this entire chapter, and I think with good reason now. Sir, I'm going to rant. I kind of want more items out of his house, just that way I can deprive him of them. Do we have anything else to put? Oh yeah, we have Chief Bonk's Revenge here to go look at. I thought this was one that we had finished already, because I got confused. Hey, a lot of health upgrade items in here. I can definitely... I gotta remember to go to a place where I can go into my storage and get out the rest of those. This game... Rogue Galaxy, I believe actually Rogue Galaxy was originally... if Rogue Galaxy is the game I'm thinking of... I believe it actually was originally started off as being a third Dark Cloud project. Don't take my word for that, but I think that is actually the case. Anyway, we got a pocket, we got a donut, we got some things to distribute here. Tone, eat your donut. Also, eat this pouch. Meanwhile, we can give this gourd to this dude. And that's gonna sound really racist. A pocket donut. Hey, Ruby, why don't you have some more defense? She has the most defense out of our entire team. And the least clothings. This is exactly how fantasy literature works, just in general. Goro, why don't you have another 10 HP? Well, I'm sorry, but his water meter is not a lot. He needs to be able to not die as easily of thirst. This game is... Never mind, this game is terrible. let's try not to dwell on it anymore. I'm probably only going to use him basically when the game makes me. Let's give this sentient beard another pile of gold bars. He digs the holes for you, and I jump into them hungrily. Yeah, I've been storing a lot of cash in here because... So, no, this is my item storage, Retro. I know that you haven't seen the rest of this, and you probably... This probably isn't a game that you've played then. So these gold bullions, you can buy them for 1,000 gold, and you can sell them back for 1,000 gold. So they're basically just a money storage mechanic. And I've been shoring it up because there is a place late in the game where we'll be able to buy some gemstones that will help us upgrade our weapons a lot. But they're going to be really, really expensive, so we want to store as much cash as we possibly can. Like, the amount that I have right now is, I'm just going to say it, not really going to be enough to be able to accommodate the kind of spending we're going to have to deal with in the future. Like, I think we now have, like, 18,000 gold stored. That is definitely not going to suffice for us. We'll put it that way. Alright, so some stat buffs have been distributed. And let us get ourselves out of here. And go back to the questionable place. Oh, hey. Another free item. I always appreciate free items. I don't need this many antidote drinks. Don't really need the mighty healing. Don't need that. Why'd I sell the bomb? That was... It's because I thought it was something else. I was just going too fast, I guess. Anything to sell here? Yeah, we got that. So let's carry around a set of gold bars and just have them on our person because, honestly, at this point, why not? It's hardly the weirdest thing we've ever done. And make our way back into the Sun and Moon Temple. And... level 11. Are you kidding me? I'm gonna have to use him already? No, apparently. Huh, that's weird. So there's just nothing here. That's... bizarre. Got a dune. I hear another one. Oh, it's a fucking mimic. Of course it is. We're gonna just try picking stuff up on this floor. We got a bunch of these sand monsters. Is that all that spawned here? Is just dunes? Oh no, I hear a crab. Pay my 1 weapon point tax. Yes, yes, go faster, please. Move faster, Pokey, etc. Is there anything I need to... Nah, I'm not gonna bother. I mean, yeah, 4 slots, but I don't feel like carrying around that many just tiny things to throw into these weapons constantly. Maybe I should. Oh, well, there's our exit. I could just ignore the rest of this if I wanted to. But it is free experience real estate, so maybe I should do some of this. Oops. Just kind of hit the R2 button there. Oh, yeah, I'll be honest with you, I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to any of the staff in the Soul Calibur series. Hey, Iron Fury, I saw on the Around the Wheel Discord that you're having a bit of a rough go. And I just want to offer my condolences. And also, that was a really shitty thing for that person to say to you. Because, good lord. Ah, yes, I love taking one step and losing the feather. It makes me feel like a real winner. Too depressed to sleep. Yeah, I can dig that. No doubles there. Okay. That's fine. Means we don't have to stick a gem in it. Oh god, that... Wow, that damage. That's a lot of damage. As you can tell by the fact that I'm dead, but also... That definitely, Wait a second, I got hit by that attack 3 times total in the last couple of... however long, and I'm just like, wait a second, that doesn't add up. Because looking at those numbers I was at, I didn't go to 100, which I should have if I took 60 damage, and I had 160 HP. And then I didn't go to... There's no critical hit mechanic in this game, by the way. Damage variance is, like, extremely low to begin with, and then, yeah, I'm just kind of confused. Yeah, good old budget cuts to try to make deadlines for on the part of people who have money but don't know anything about making video games. I don't know what the overall just the overall, I guess, when it comes to 6. Like, I don't know who the director is there, if it's a newcomer, if it's an old director. Oh boy, another crystal ring. I only have like 1 trillion of those. That said, I also haven't played Soul Calibur 6 in quite a bit. I believe I have it installed on my hard drive right now because I have the Steam version. But I haven't played it in a bit. I think I also have the DLC, Fighter Pass, whatever it's called. Season Pass? Yeah, that's the overall general term for that type of thing. I picked that up for it because, well, again, if you're playing a fighting game, you do kind of want to have all the characters, as a general rule. And I forget if there were like 2 passes for it, because that's been a thing that's started to happen with video games for some reason, of like, oh hey, yeah, we can't do this all at the same, you know. They gotta squeeze more money out of you somehow, and then they can claim in about 8 months that the game underperformed. Gee, I wonder why. But yeah, I did play it a little bit when it came out, and I goofed off with the character creator, and it was a pretty solid character creator, all considered. Although that said, I really haven't played any of them since 3 extensively. But of course, 3, boy, I probably devoted a little more energy to 3 than was a smart idea, because 3 is absolutely the pinnacle of the series, being like, hey, we're gonna be as cheap as possible against you and reading your inputs and stuff. I don't know if it literally reads your inputs, but it has that feeling of your inputs being read, you know? Where they're just constantly that good. You know, obviously, sure, the computer can kick my ass once in a while. That's fine. I'm not a fighting game genius or anything, but when it's a constant unbroken thing, and from the start of it, and it hasn't had time to rubber band or learn how you play or whatever, which I don't even know if that's even a real thing, but it feels a little bit questionable, that's all. And feeling sometimes does have a greater impact than how it necessarily is. But it definitely felt like Mortal Kombat 2 arcade levels of that. Of it being like, oh yeah, I know exactly what you're gonna do. I also was just kind of terrible at it in general, but eventually managed to get away with it by basically button mashing until the RNG gave me what I wanted. Although I seem to recall actually being, I I think I was at least somewhat decent with Xianghua because I remember being able to unlock her weapon from Olkadan. Or however you pronounce the owl man's name. The oh really owl, basically. I mean, it was around that. It was close enough to that time anyway for that to be a meme that existed. Oh boy. And we got this area's King Mimic. This dude should be worth a chunk of EXP for sure. Like 20? Maybe only like 15. Only 15. Yeah, which is what those were worth in the shipwreck. So, wow, they're really just trying to make this area look like dog shit, aren't they? Just, you know what? What if everything was easier to fight and worth about as much or more in the previous level? And also, what if the area that you're rebuilding is kind of terrible? At least the next dungeon is pretty cool. We had a giant robot. Right? Don't be an idiot around these things. They do hella damage for some reason. Yeah, see, I took 55. It's... I'm just confused. I'm overthinking this and underthinking it at the same time. And it's always weird when that happens, because you start feeling like your head hurts. And when you try to explain what's going on to somebody, they go, "What the fuck are you talking about?" As if they've never had it happen to them, right? Maybe they haven't, actually. Wow, okay. Wow, okay, sure, thanks, asshole. Can't believe you would do this to me. Oh, okay, I see what the problem is. I'm being dumb regarding the damage on these things. No, it's not varying whatsoever. It's actually just that I forgot my drain weapon actually has a drain ability on it. And so whenever I deal damage, I gain back 1% of that as HP. And you might be thinking, 1%? That's fucking pathetic, and you are correct that could actually stand to be quite a bit more, but... if you're fighting a boss or something where you don't really care about having to switch weapons and stuff, that's pretty okay, actually. It's fine. Does the job. It's just that in a case like this, I mean, we're We're swapping our weapon every, like, 5 seconds in order to take advantage of an exploit in the game's code. Or perhaps it's completely intentional. I mean, I don't know for sure. I definitely can't get inside any of those people's heads. Oh, that seemed like quite a long load. Huh. Alright. So our chef's house here, we've got nothing we can do with this, basically. But we can go down to Totem Pole C here, and we can put this together. And for those of you who might not be aware, just in case, these totem poles are part of the town rebuilding to fulfill all the requests. You just have to aim them at the people's houses, that way their little totem things are facing the major totem poles properly. And it's... all I'm gonna say is, yes, there's definitely... yeah, a lot of these are incredibly, not good. Why is... I'm gonna be honest with you, I have no idea why they just decided to pile all of these, incredibly not tasteful elements together. But, here we are. Also, I also like the fact that and by like, I mean I'm using that in a bit of a sarcastic way, to put it nicely. That not only is it like, hey, here's all of these African countries that we've just mashed together into the desert, but also, like, every poorly understood idea about Native Americans and Australian Aborigines. And of course, I mean, the temple by itself is like, we've got a pyramid, but also we've got a little bit of Inca, I think Maya, maybe not so much Aztecs, but... anyway, here we are, being forced to use Captain Racism as our main character here, while we have only his default twig to fight with. I'm so fucking happy, let me tell you. I'm about to subject all your asses to a fishing stream just so I can get this guy his better weapon. I'm not actually going to do that. I'm not an asshole. And the fishing in this game, well, it's not Final Fantasy XIV. In fact, there's definitely quite a few games from this era, I believe, with better fishing than what this has. Get away from that. Easy. No. I mean, fishing in 14 is complicated to figure out what you want, but it's not like... it's technically not difficult to reel in a fish, we'll put it that way. Meanwhile, in this game... fat fucking chance. Oh, what poisoned me? Ah, jeez. This guy deserves, well, he deserves something, but more like... oh, OOT's fishing, the last time I fished in OOT, it was in the randomizer, and that might have, like, fixed results or something, so I don't remember it being that bad. Alright, well, our twig is about to break on us, and we got the key to leave the level. But I am going to scope the rest of this. Oh good, there's bomber heads here. That's great. Give us an enemy for the melee dudes forced have to play as him floor. Give the dude enemies that fucking explode when they die. I guess they could have been real douchebags and filled this thing full of the steel golems that we still haven't seen yet. But also, like, fuck you, level 5, come on. I've never played a Professor Layton game. I assume that they're better than this, though. Or at least designed less by douchebags. I don't remember Twilight Princess fishing at all is the other thing. And Big the Cat's fishing. I would say that Big the Cat's fishing was probably better than the fishing in this game. But, I mean, I suppose that we could always take a whack at it. Yeah, I could show you it, but I wouldn't really want to subject you all to that. I like most of you more than that. Well, listen, Big the Cat is just strange, so maybe it's perfectly sensible. Clearly, what they needed to do to make Big the Cat and his fishing and everything else more sensible is that they just needed to replace all of his voice clips with Duke Nukem, and somehow I had formulated that entire sentence in my brain, and then I proceeded to forget the name Duke Nukem. Oh god, fuck you, game. We're in the Thirst Zone. Well, I mean, Bubsy would be funny too, but Bubsy was not voiced by John St. John, who voiced Big the Cat and Duke Nukem. And also Axe, which is kind of funny in and of itself. Skin for Axe where it's just Big the Cat. Anyway, egods. I've managed to forget what I was saying. So, yeah, you know, clearly they just need to do that, and then when he dies, he just goes, damn. God, I remember that. That was a fucking story. Your cat worried about you. You absolutely dying so... just laughing so hard. You're just like, well... Big the Duke. Yeah, there you go. Give him sunglasses. I mean, it wouldn't be the weirdest thing Sonic the Hedgehog has ever done, that's for sure. Although, saying that, that implies that there is actually a weirdest thing Sonic the Hedgehog has ever done. And I'm not exactly confident that you can actually say that, just because there has been so much strange shit in the Sonic franchise that how do you rank it? Well, I guess you kind of go Ken Penders at the top, and then you just go down from there. Ready to kick bass, yeah, okay. Sounds like a real bass hole to me. Wait, that wasn't that good. That moment when you're groaning at your own joke. Oh boy. We got blue dragons here. Their difference between them and the regular dragons is that these dudes are blue. They're also ice element, which means I probably should have my sword on, like, fire element or something, but, I mean, it's fine. Yeah, I know you do. You think about sawfish constantly. I'm about to send you another one on 14 if I can be asked to fish up another fucking sawfish. I will go insane if I try to do that, and I'll probably have to wait like 2 weeks for the weather conditions to be okay. Sea bass yet? Animal Crossing, etc. It was the original Animal Crossing where the sea bass, you'd catch the sea bass and the kid would go, "Sea bass!" That was terrible. And it's just, yeah, that sounds like the level that all of us operate on here. As terrible as possible. Oh, they got better, worse. That's good. Let's put that in there and yeah, let's start leveling up the boner swords here, because as I've said before, we need to grind these up like a couple of... You know, just evolve the weapon a couple times. Gotta be... Oh god, not the bee! Wait. No, no, not the bees! Not the bees! Ah! Oh, Nicolas Cage. Strange man he is. Certainly was. Still is, come to think of it, but... I mean, he definitely was a strange man. Oh, that's just rude, game. I need that money for hoarding. It's like anybody who has large amounts of money. Or to ruin economies of various goods, you know. I could have taken that gold and I could have gone and bought a bunch of used games like Martin Shkreli or something. Wait, no, Martin Shkreli didn't... Did he? Maybe he did. I don't remember. The main thing to insult the poor with, yeah, that's more or less what it is. The main thing that I remember about Martin Shkreli and weird shit is when they arrested him and when they arrested Martin Shkreli and they searched his house and his belongings to find a missing Wu-Tang Clan album. And you just think, damn, the world is fucking weird, isn't it? Yeah, I also remember there was a short period of time when he was like, oh, I'm gonna start playing Magic and I'm gonna buy all these expensive dual lands and stuff, and people were immediately freaked out because, of course, this rich douchebag was about to get into this and ruin that game's already terrible economy. You know, I question how much actual Kaiba, yeah, pretty much. I question how much actual, like, playing he would have done, but he definitely would have. He would have absolutely, just to jerk off with in public, basically. And of course, it made a lot of people really, really upsetty, and they were very nervous about it. For reasons that are quite understandable, because quite a few of those cards, there's, like, I don't know, not enough actually in circulation. And it's a bit of a problem for anybody who wants to get into any of the formats that use, like, all the cards from the beginning of the game. Because they're never going to reprint them because of very, very stupid reasons that I don't want to get too deep into. But also kind of just, fuck Magic. I don't really care that much if it... if the game... went under before the actual literal 30th anniversary, well, okay, at that point I would laugh, but if the game just kind of died out, I wouldn't really be too torn up about it. I don't play anymore. I mean, I look at the stuff that I'm trying to still get rid of and be like, well, okay, that kind of sucks, but aside from that, like, let's go in the shop, try to ignore the racist thing, pretend it's a walrus head. There we go. That's perfectly fine, then. It's completely normal. Is our inventory? Our inventory is crowded with shit that we don't need, but I don't think we have too much that we need to restock on. I mean, we got... Grab some waters just in case we end up in a really bad position there. I proceed to sell one. Do I have... I have 2 more feathers. Okay, I don't need to worry about feathers. I'll grab an actually good water. Alright. Actually, I want another Stonebreaker. And we can start sticking those into some of the junk items that we're gonna start dismantling more of. Whenever I put someone in the lead for that. So we actually had some shit to do here, right? Toto's house. Yeah, so... Apparently Toto isn't around, but we have... Oh no, Toto is the kid. I was like, wait a second. Isn't the kid named Gosuke? No, it's the golem that's named Gosuke for some reason. Like, hey, here's a very Japanese name in the middle of the desert. It definitely makes you go, wait a second. But then again, everything here kind of makes you ask some questions, so... Look at this dude's spiral-shaped house. That's kind of nice. And then you remember where we are. Oh, hey, look at this just haunch of meat just hanging out here. Just in the open air. Oh, God, don't look at the thing that I just saw in the periphery. Oh, God. Get it off screen. It's really bad. Anyway, yeah, piece of meat. It, like, it's been chomped into. Somebody just fucking... Well, I guess the person disappeared, but just being left out there. And it's just like, well, that's... Oh, hey, grass cake, so... Goro gets a little bit more defense. But yeah, I'm like, that just looks very silly. Although I guess it's probably preserved in some way, right? What do you need, Chief? He's a knob, huh? Make your own jokes. This dude's calling me bro also. Also, by the way, shout out to this kid living inside of a giant vase. Like, I have nothing else really to add to this, just... That's just a vase. You know? Oh, hey, tasty water. Nothing around here has any taste. Let's be honest with ourselves. All right, back to the temple. Back to the Legends of the Hidden Temple. I was waiting for another floor of... Oh, by the way, you get thirsty faster. Oh, it's a desert. And I just kind of go... this makes me sad. Speaking of making me sad... Fucking 5 to 6 repair points for hitting one of those dudes. Yeesh. I think we're probably gonna be having either Ruby or Xiao be our leader here for a bit. I think it's going to be Ruby because she actually has some damage behind her. I should probably level this thing up. So that way it just has steel in perpetuity. That's steel as in S-E-A-L, not what these dudes are made of. Hooray, we can already leave the floor. Unfortunately, we still have a bunch of shit to pick up and we have to figure out where the exit is. You've got a different attack, come on. I know you've got the fist swinging shit. Stop. I want to show... There we go. In case that animation hasn't been shown off. But no, most of the time they do the shockwave because of the range and they're just being kind of dicks. Anyway, maybe we've killed off all the steel golems here, and we can have Tone actually fight regular shit. That would be nice, but I don't know if that'll be necessary. Maybe it will. Maybe it is. Whatever. And unfortunately, we've got more terrible enemies. Ah, yes, my favorite. Garbage. Garbage Day! Is a good description of this entire scenario. Oogie Boogie. Oogie Boogie. Oh boy. Decide to go back in time and fire them. I don't disagree with you, because yeah, it's pretty dire in a lot of cases. Oh, and it makes me want to die here. It's pretty diarrhea. Wait. Got him. But yeah, I'm not sure anybody did any sound design for this game, judging by the quality of the quote-unquote attempt that was made. Oh yeah, I forgot to feed this goon his defense cake. There we go. Wow, now you have 22 defense. Why don't you take one of those too? Yeah, we can upgrade our trial hammer some here. When can we get the real thing? Etc. I don't know where this joke is going. Just burn that power powder, because leveling this thing up is kind of torture, really. All right. Attach the big bucks hammer. Oh good, I see a room full of enemies that are really, really shitty to deal with. Awesome. Love it. Makes me so happy. Well, at the very least, our stealing weapons can steal a bunch of repair powder for all of our weapons as they slowly get chipped into dust from fighting these fuckers. I gotta give a little bit of points there. That guy dropped something in a second. Deal with this knucklehead here. Oh hey, it's a 150 gold. Nice. Tone, you could actually use some recovery as well. Oh, our feather broke immediately and we didn't get the message because of there probably being some other message there. Excellent. My favorite. Neat. Another power-up powder. As I believe I said a million years ago, yeah, I don't really mind being very kind of frivolous with those because you get so many. Like, they just fall into your lap sometimes, and it's like, well, you know what? Fuck it, why not? I may as well use this on something that is only slightly irritating to be able to get closer to a status break instead of something that takes 200 plus to free up space so I can get one more ability in there. Hey, we got some free money. That doesn't happen every day. Or in the real world, ever. Also, again, it's hilarious that the game's like, Goro can't jump this long of a distance when the ridiculous fucking leaps he was making earlier in the game, you know, again, like a Final Fantasy protagonist, really. So, come on. Yes, I see we're having a crossover with Eternal Darkness. We've just found the ruins of Enga. That's a bit of a stretch. Alright, get this fucker out of here. And then we can work on shooting the steel giant to death. And by work on, I mean it'll take like, I don't know, 20 seconds at most. Alright, so our Big Bucks Hammer has maxed out its absorption. We can go ahead and upgrade it. And oh, hey, look! That Big Bucks ability came back! Yes. I haven't really shown this off on camera, but I have definitely talked about the opposing abilities thing before. But hey, now you get to see I wasn't making that up. It's real, I swear. I swear quite often, in fact. Da-da-da-da-da-da. So is this thing full of stuff yet? Yes, it is. Okay. Upgrade, and... yeah, I'm not gonna just immediately crunch this thing. It would be a waste. Let's equip it with a couple of items. Well, you see, I came down with a bout of Space Madness, and I ate it thinking it was an ice cream sandwich, so... you know, things happen. Everything happens so much, as they say. I'm no longer sure who they are, but... yes, I'd like to leave... you can never truly escape. Well, yes, I would like to leave, and... oh, right, I'm right outside of this place. I would like to go back in, actually, now that I think about it. Never mind. Yeah, my feelings on that turn around pretty fast. Look at this fella. Got a house that's like a giant gourd. Can't believe they included the Hotel California. Nice. Yeah, Enga's house is just a big fucking gourd, isn't it? Yeah, that's pretty much what's going on here. It's a giant gourd. With a special bespoke roof for its stairway. And by stairway, I mean misshapen ramp. This is just like the door fell off one time in the middle of a storm. And they were just like, you know what? Fuck it. We're just going to put in a new door. And we're going to slap this down as like a service ramp. Yes. A sandstorm. Actually, fuck, is that, I was gonna say, is that sandstorm emote still a thing? And yes, it is. Sometimes this website is acceptable. This game, however, right now is not. Where's Shithead's house? No, I don't mean Ben Shapiro over there. I mean this guy. I may have just completely cracked by now, guys. And people who don't like being called Guy. I don't think we need... yeah, we don't need to buy anything. But I'll grab one of those anyway. And we'll grab some more gold bars. As I'm just carrying around 4 piles of gold ingots in my inventory. Because at this point, I have stopped giving even a single solitary shit about anything. And just like, you know what? It's... We're gonna do it. We're gonna do with it. We're gonna deal with it. The sunglasses are gonna drop any second now. Or maybe not, I don't know. The sunglasses fall and one of the arms gets just jammed in my eyeball. Oh, my eye! I'm not supposed to get sunglasses in it. Wait. Snake, did you like my sunglasses? Yeah, definitely having a Ray has gone bye-bye Egon moment here. Let me take a look at this pointy thing real quick and see that it doesn't need undead anymore, right? Yeah, absolutely not. Thank goodness. But it was mage was the thing. I shouldn't need mage anymore, right? Yeah, it's just metal and beast, so that's... That part will be handled after we finish upgrading the Buster Sword. Eventually, I'm just going to start using the word Buster in place of bastards, and or even the singular, and people are going to be so confused. It's going to be great. There's Enga, we got Zabo, Zaborg. I don't know, I think it's not a great name choice, that's for fucking sure. Yeah, see, there you go. Anyway, thinking about other words and also the word bastard at the same time. I've probably told this story before, but I was watching somebody, because I've never played this game before myself, play Pac-Man 2, The New Adventures, or whatever it's called. The, you know, the one where you control Pac-Man by using a slingshot. Because, wow, gaming in that era was really weird. I say that like it's not now, but... And if there's a section where you're supposed to be doing a thing real fast on a little handcart in a mine. And so there's a voice clip that's supposed to be saying, faster, faster, but the audio quality on the sampled speech is really bad. Because, I mean, yes, 16-bit sound, you can only get so far with it. I mean, the MSU1 unit never was, like, a real thing as far as I know. Despite the amount of things that emulate for it, which is... Those are cool, though. So anyway, the point is that I was watching someone play it, and it's going faster, faster, and we all agreed that it was actually saying, or at least it sounded like it was actually saying, bastard, bastard! Because of the terrible sound quality. Those were good times. I missed that guy. He hasn't streamed in several months. Anyway, we just got Chief Bonka, and, you know, we've made fun of that already, because what a fucking name. Are these worth 6? I think they're worth... not 6. They're worth less than that. No, they're worth 6. Excellent. That makes things quite easy for me. Oh, hey. This dude came over to this side of the map. Also, I'm pretty sure they have less ice resistance than the other dudes do. Fun. By the other dudes, I mean the regular mimics, obviously. What did you think I meant? Oh. Don't tell me, actually. Oh, no, it's the same amount of damage. I just am very forgetful. This floor is just full of mimics, huh? That's pretty irritating. That's not great. I don't think there's a big chest in the back, but I really wish there would be, because I could use some more weapons to grind down, even though I still haven't remembered to actually give levels to my real stuff yet. Oh, speaking of giving things, I need to remember to use... Let me use that fish candy on Xiao real quick, so that way she can gain a little bit of defense. And now Tone can have the least defense of the party for some reason. I think he does, anyway. Just in the back. One of these is going to be a mimic at least. Yeah. Oh, and there's the compass. Excuse me. We're not ready for the next floor yet. We've got some stuff to do in town. Got 2 roofs. And nobody's asked for a roof yet, because everybody's in, like, a house made of a giant urn or something. Well, at the very least, we can go and handle the thing at Toto's house. Let's just go relatively in the order these things are. What do you want? Yes. You're gonna yell at me for coming in the middle of the night, huh? Well, listen, it can't be helped. I suppose that we're gonna be handling that plot point in the morning. In-game morning, anyway. By plot point, I mean just talking to that person. Oh, I think your golem ran out of batteries. Oh no. Golem is going to die. Oh no, we've known you for 2 minutes. This would be much sadder if, again, if it weren't in this location and if we had real connection to any of this whatsoever. Oh, his little eyes are spinning, by the way. I just noticed that. I mean, not anymore, probably, but still. Nice touch. Oh, ye gods, he had a sword inside of him the whole time. You ever just swallow a sword? By accident? I mean, how do you figure that it's... Well, whatever. I won't argue with a free, cool-looking sword. The Sun Sword. Unfortunately, not very useful for our purposes, but you know what? It is a unique weapon. What thing? I don't know what thing you're talking about, kid. So where'd that handle go? Oh, it's literally on top of Toto's house urn. What do you need, old man? The trendy hay roof. I mean, it'll look like a gourd anyway, because I'm pretty sure it is a gourd. Is this dude in? The answer appears to be no. So I'm gonna have to go outside to find that person. Alright, the chief's house I don't have to ask about anything. That'll work itself out on its own, because we just have to find the mini totem pole, and yeah. Excuse me. No, we're not interested in you. I just realized why Jabubu's house is referred to as a hose, by the way. It's because he's secretly a puddle of sewer slime masquerading as a human, judging by his attitude. It was excreted out of... this doesn't sound very good, but, like... It is the white guy in the middle of the desert, so... And see, now you get it. I swear I just saw an arrow for somebody to talk to over here. Is this not that location? Oh, there we are. There's this fella. What are you missing? You need shade, and you need a mini totem pole. We already know about that one. So is that... That's not a roof that you need then. It's a... No, it is a roof. Okay. Alright. I don't know how much more of this dungeon we have left, but it should only be a couple of floors and then a boss. We're 17. I want to say we've probably got like 2 more. Just because the number of orbs there didn't look like it was enough to actually finish things off. God, I don't like this group of enemies whatsoever. Let's take a quick look at the Sun Sword, by the way. Do we got anything interesting here? Yeah, we've got quite a bit going on with the Sun Sword. The Sun Sword can support quite a few attachments per level. In fact, 4. And has a decent amount of fire and thunder. And pretty okay stats. So this is going to be something that we're going to enjoy dismantling eventually. Oh, well, that's real helpful because it's not going to come in handy here. You might be saying to me, how is that helpful? Well, shut up, that's how. It's quite a deep guttural crunch that thing made as it falls over. Fire, Holy, Dead, and Mage. Do we have... Yeah, we got that in here. There's some stuff. That there. That provides, like, no fire whatsoever. Oh, right. I remember that. Like, wait a second, isn't the thing that Goro had... No, that has more fire. Tell how easily confused I'm getting at this point. As if I needed the help. Ah, yes, good old deluxe water. Premium water, whatever it's called. Oh, hey! Properly went through the crystal that time. Neat. I didn't realize that it could actually do that, but I guess I aimed it properly to pull that off. Cool. Ron, did that say? I need to look at that. I think Gron. Yeah. Prisoner of War, huh? Ron, alright. Yeah. One sec here. Actually, wait a sec. Prisoner of war with whom? This is like the only settlement in the area, and honestly, he looks not completely dissimilar to anybody else in the zone, relatively speaking. Like, are there other settlements of people who are not white in this game that we've just never seen? Or did they go to war with themselves? Or, as the joke is actually supposed to be that I'm winding up for here, are we sure it's not Jabubu starting a war against the people of this area who are not white? Fuck me. No, the healing spring's like a million miles away. Can one of you please? There we go. Alright. Quit backing away every time I try to... Wow, alright. So, that definitely, again, I hate being that person, but absolutely the damage point for that is clearly, like, before the spike leaves the ground. Like, as soon as it disappears from the one hand is when that attack deals damage, I think, which is kind of gross. That's really terrible, actually. You can say what we will about the game design in this game just in general, but that is above and below the Call of Duty. Wait. Is that what I... No, I guess what I was trying to say was below and beyond the Call of Duty. Which still sounds incredibly silly, but also... What do you expect, right? Pick up some more fire. We've got enough fire orbs here that we can do this. And then we can crunch this thing down and we can have a nice source of some extra fire for this slot in place of the platinum ring that's already there. And we can feed that one to somebody who actually needs the stats. Which I don't think anyone does right now, and certainly nobody needs the ice. I mean, I guess we can equip it here, and then we can pretend that this is a viable weapon for a little while. Until the game is actually willing to give us something that's usable. Which, you know, good joke, but... But seriously, folks. To quote every terrible stand-up comedian ever. Yeah, actually, we're just gonna let the EXP sink into this. Because, hey, that 2 slots is a little bit of a pain in the butt. Oh, I see. This is where they've been keeping all the other mobs to the area. Unfortunately, it's just blue dragons, but you know. Meh. Oh yeah, we were gonna let those go into that. Right. Sorry, I'm being dumb. There is no way to apologize. You are all correct. Anyone who's thinking it. Alright. Let's leave this floor and go tidy up the town a little bit. Honestly, at this point, we could probably start rearranging the entire town, and it'd be fine, but... I like how this dude's little statuette is like a just a cow skull, a cow skull with an extra horn on its face and just terrible teeth. Like, it's just a weird mishmash of animals and pointy bits. It looks incredibly silly. Hey, another free Buster Sword. Yeah, you pulled something as you tried to show off that you knew how to swing that sword. That's for store. Hey, nice. Free storage location. Am I still here? Because this place is... It takes forever. I don't know what it is, but it feels like everything just takes a million years to get any business done here. Alright, there's the other side of town. Toko's house we've dealt with already. Chief's house. Hey, guess what? We fixed your house. You happy now, Chief? Hey, some items. Come back later tonight. Okay, well, that's nice. Alright, we need to talk to this dude. What's up? Cronus Maximus. Alright, so we gotta go back by the Spiral House. Yeah, okay, so we are actually done here as soon as I rearrange everything and get all of these events. Hey, dude. We put a sign in front of your prison cell. I hope that helps ritz the place up a little bit. You've got, like, 2 square feet to yourself. Oh, we've heard that one before, buddy. Oh, okay. Yeah, of course Ungaga would have a problem with scorpions, right? I mean, he did spend a lot of time doing nothing. He's gonna kick his ass. All he did was... Nothing else there? Well, I'm not surprised I don't get an item from him, but also that's a little disappointing. Alright, so where is... Spiral Top House? There it is. And, oh, okay, some things are going on, and that's a really horrible little statue there. Thanks, man. Oh, it does not do that at all. Yeah. What do you got? Nice jump cut. Hey, another double impact. Yay, stats. Boy, I'm so glad. Well, I guess that's, like, if you're that absolutely fuckoed on weapons for Shao, you have something. Unfortunately... Yeah, I know, right? And of course, this is a place in the game where the lack of camera controls, because while this is better than a video game from like 10 years prior, it's still not by a ton. So I had this one to the side, so we're moving everything over one here, basically. 4, 2, 3, 4. Oh. Away is where you go now. 2, 3, 4. Just remove everything that we're not using at the moment, I guess. And other side there is white supremacist house. And a second. 3, 4. All right. Fill the loss. That would be real fun. It would make a lot of sense for this part of the game, but unfortunately, we are trying to get certain rewards out of stuff, so that might not really have the required benefit is how we're going to phrase that, apparently. Bird? Yeah, they have the bird, right. And the oasis goes in the corner. And now we stick some trees in a few places. I need to readjust the positioning on the giant gourd house there. Trees off. No, the tree positioning is fun. It's gonna move that now, so. So somebody is still not happy. So I've probably fucked something up here, but let's see what we can hash out from taking a look here. I was gonna say, is this one off by 1 or something? Oh, it looks fine according to this map. Is it just because I haven't seen the event yet? It's probably that. Alright, well. It's time to wander the area until it turns over to evening. So that way we can go and do that. Dusk is probably a little early to go and talk, but we'll find out. Unfortunately, I don't remember where anything is here. It's like, there it is. Okay. Am I too early? You gonna throw me out? Probably. Yep. Gotta wait till it toggles over to night properly. Alright, well there we go. Now we can do this event. Sneaking around everywhere. Well, at least this guy is able to help us with this, so, boy, this whole scenario, I just don't want to talk about this right now. Well, I mean, we're down to the basement, I'm pretty sure, so... Signets. Alright, so we gotta go get them from somewhere else. What else? Oh yeah, of course, he resembles his dad. Who would have guessed, right? Dino Slayer, premium chicken. And you've got nothing useful to say to us, really. Alright. So does that doesn't count yet. We have to go... Oh no, it does. Okay, so we can land and we get our reward for arranging the town. Oh, is he gonna get something? Oh, nice! He got a legitimate weapon! The Mirage. I believe the Mirage can be built up to either of his two final weapons, which is very strange. But it's actually, like, pretty high up the weapons tree is the important thing here. So we should probably equip him with that post-haste. Because, hey, guess what? We're gonna have to use him during the boss of the area. Aren't you all so happy about that? I'm fucking not. Equip, build up. Yeah, we've got two possibilities here. I believe the top one is the one that we want to go with. But hey, nice. We got a thing there. You know what? In this case, we're actually going to just start putting our stuff here. Do we want to... No, we're going to equip this stuff to the other Buster Sword. Because we'll use this one to be a stat stick for the other bone rapier. Because we're going to want to upgrade both of those, as you could probably guess. Alright, so now we need to go and find Zabo and Enga and get their things. Their signet rings or whatever. Hooray! Don't look at the racist-looking figurines. Seriously. Stop doing it. Quit thinking about it. Alright, Enga's the other one. He's right here. If I have... House, yeah. Neat. Yeah, we get it. He looks like his dad, who was famous. Hooray! we can, something with that diamond. I don't remember what. I don't know who's gonna be able to put it to the best use. Maybe you. Goro, yeah, you definitely need the anti-plant, so we'll do that. Alright. Now, we're gonna save before we go take on the boss of the area. Not because I'm gonna leave it till next time. I'm gonna try and do it now. But there is another QTE, which we haven't had for a while, at the end of this. And maybe I will just get so frustrated with that I'm like, yeah, I gotta do this later, man. But here we go, into level 18, the Coffin's Chamber. I think we're going to want to take out Captain Racism to start with here, and we're going to stick the Sun Signet in there. Stick the Moon Signet in here. And it's a boss time. Oh boy, I wonder if this is going to be that thing from Shifting Sandland in Super Mario 64. That eyeball, that's just the Mimic eyeball, actually. Never mind, it's just going to be a giant Mimic. Seems like a very silly choice for a boss, but hey, who am I to judge? Oh, never mind. It's Coffagregis. Or not quite. This is the King's Curse. You don't say! Where's this guy been for the last, like, 3 fucking dungeons? This music ain't too bad. Oh, whatever. Who cares about being cursed? But yeah, fuck, he hurts. Can you? Wow, okay. Would you kindly? Feed him a piece of cheese, so that way he doesn't die. Alright, come on, walk into the wind. There we go. Okay, so he's not pleased with that. Well, we're so strong that we killed the boss in 2 hits. So at least there's that. Like, wow, this is getting really up to a point where battles are incredibly feast or famine, aren't they? Like, sure, we can kill everything super fast, but we die really easily too. Good times. Good times, huh? Oh, hey, I know that music, unfortunately. Oh, take a look at this thing. sure is. Hey, dude. Uh-oh. It's caving in. Excellent. We may never have to think about this shithole ever again. Unfortunately, here comes a little bit of this business whenever it actually decides to start. Listen, I know that the QTE is here, so quit jerking me off. Oh, I did that last one way too early. That was real stupid because it's super short. Wow, that's even more embarrassing because that was like a fraction of a second too early. I knew how to time that at that point, but it's like, wow, what if I just did not? Yeah, see, look, it was super short. I honestly expected worse out of that because it's been, you know, it's this deep into the game and we've had ones that are worse than this, frankly. You know, the one that required a diagonal input, which was barely working on the control stick, that seems a little bit sucky. Hey, take a look at our big old boat. I referred to a spaceship last stream as a space boat, but this literally is just a space boat for some reason. This is what our ship looks like, is like... what people sort of, you know, the generic image of a Viking longship, but with paddle wheels. To Yellow Drops, huh? What a name for a place. I bet the dungeon's gonna really piss me off. You don't say! You saw it emerge from the temple. Meh. Just meh. Oh, look, the moon people are rabbits. Who would have guessed? Wow. It's like this is a game made in Japan or something. I like how that's supposed to be like some great reveal or something. Something Lopperitz. I don't know. We're humans. We're not used to this kind of thing. I think we're Hicks. Jesus. Oh, now it's only the single yellow drop. Okay. Oh, I see you have the interwebs now. Samba. Samba de Amigo? No, no, no. Alright, open the weird spiky door, please. Oh, you gotta take that phone call? Well, yeah, sounds like that's not gonna... Later. Thanks for guiding me around the town, I guess. We're gonna take a brief look around. I don't know what that person wants offhand. I'll have to look into it. It may not be something we can deal with yet. We may have to go to the local dungeon. Basically, I just want to go see if I can find a shop. Real quick, just to show what's going on with that. Alright, so Samba's our check-in guy. That's cool. Why don't you take all of these? Yeah, he doesn't seem to be all there, I'll say that. Jive, what a name. Also, yeah, that's fairly simple advice. Just build up its stats. Thanks, dude. This is strange. What's going on here? Is this where the... Is that where the shop is and we don't get access to it until later? That would suck. The thing in the middle is where we're going to be building for the area, by the way, so we'll deal with that later. Need gunpowder to use the cannons. Gunpowder, huh? That sounds like fun. It would be pretty impressive if we just traveled here on account of got nothing better to do. I don't think anybody on that planet knows what space travel is. They probably are not really entirely aware of what space is, really. Bravery launch, huh? No way to climb up except for the ladder. One second. Salsa. Good name. Yeah, you were looking for... So I guess we really are just without a shop for the time being on this area. We have to go back down to the planet's surface for that. Huh. That's weird. Well. Alright. That'll do for today. We'll come back to this very, very soon. And let me end today's stream by just apologizing to everybody who's a fan of Silent Hill 2. That's all.